What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my full card breakdown and predictions for UFC Vegas 10, Angela Hill versus Masha Waterson. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another full card breakdown and prediction video. This time we are breaking down UFC Vegas 10, and I'll be honest, it's not the best card in the world, but there are some very fun fights scattered throughout the card. Worthy Zytar, Rodriguez, Herman, Quintino, Nelson, Schnell, Nam. There's a bunch of good fights on here, but there's also a bunch of fights I'm not overly interested in, but regardless, we got a fight card. We have an opportunity to make some money, so really looking forward to getting into it and breaking it all down for you guys. Before we get started with the video, if you guys can leave a like, subscribe if you have not yet, would appreciate that a ton. Trying to get to that $7,000 mark. And just want to say thank you for everybody that did sign up on Patreon over the week. Had about 30-something new members, almost to 150 total in that Discord. Nice to see some new people in there as well. Was able to get some early content out for you guys. So thank you guys for signing up. Thank you for your support there. Coming off of a pretty tough week last week, a pretty weird week as well. A 7-fight card. A lot of fights got canceled. A lot of my bets got canceled. I had Keller inside the distance at like plus 165. I love that line. And then he ended up finishing his new opponent in the first round, but that didn't do me any good. And then I had Jalen Turner as well at like plus 160, something like that. He ended up closing at like plus 125. Got a big value there, and that ended up getting canceled. Ended up going 1-2 on my bets, was able to hit that underdog with Muniz, but ended up having a small loss nonetheless, and snapped a really big win streak. That was my first losing night since like the Shabazian card with the Calderwood fiasco. So ready to get back into it. So here we go. We're gonna start with the first fight of the night, and a couple things I do want to point out before we get into the first fight here. You guys may not recognize this fight. It just got added last night. I'm recording this at like Thursday morning. It's like 5:16 a.m. But, Romanov versus Martinez, it just got added. There's now 13 fights on the card. And there's also something I want to point out. There is a rumor going around that Camacho might be out of this card. I don't know if it's true or not, but, my Twitter's blowing up that Camacho, maybe tested positive for COVID. And if that's true, I think that they've already found a replacement. I think they're talking about Jalen Turner, but I don't know. Regardless, we're going to talk about that matchup. If things change, the Friday after weigh-in show is going to be very important, and it has been important. Going to talk about my final thoughts, my bets, my DraftKings, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys tune in Friday because it has been very, very important. A lot of things are probably going to change. A lot of things that you hear right now are probably not going to all stick together, which, as sad as that sounds, but that's just how it's been lately. So the first fight of the night, Alexander Romanov versus, I want to say it's Royk Martinez. Alexander Romanov is 29 years old. He is 6'2", with a 75-inch reach. He's 11-0 and 3-0 in his last 5 fights. Royk Martinez, he is 34 years old, 5'10", 15, 5-2, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Romanov has a 100% finish rate. Martinez has a 73% finish rate. Martinez has lost 3 times by decision, 1 time by knockout, and once by sub. We do not have a line for this fight, but I'm assuming that Romanov will be I want to say not a big favorite, but a decent-sized favorite. I think Martinez is not a scrub whatsoever. I actually liked what I've seen from him. So I'll be honest with you guys, I need to go in and watch some more tape on this Martinez guy. I was able to watch like 4 or 5 fights. I'd like to watch more than that. There really wasn't much out there, but I'm going to go find more. But from what I've seen, I mean, first of all, the first thing I was looking for, like, can this dude stuff the takedowns? And if I saw him get taken down, it's pretty simple from there. But he looked good. He looked good stuffing takedowns. He looks big. I mean, he's not the most muscular guy in the world at all. But he's big. He looks like he cuts to 265. And Romanov's a big guy as well, so it's going to be a really fun fight. But as for the matchup goes, I do think Romanov's going to get him down. Although Martinez was able to stuff these takedowns from these lower-level guys. Romanov, he hasn't fought Romanov. And Romanov is, the dude, I'm sure you guys remember me talking about him. I've broken down his fight like 2 times in the last month and a half. He hasn't fought yet, though. But hopefully this fight's on, and hopefully he's able to fight this time. But, a guy I'm high on. This dude is very exciting to watch. He's a finisher. He goes in there. He knows what he wants to do, and that's get it to the ground. He doesn't mess around on the feet. He picks up 265-pound men and slam them like it's nothing. He's suplex guys. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be so much fun. And if he can pick up this Martinez dude, it is going to be very impressive because, like I said, this Martinez dude is humongous. So, I don't know. But give me Romanov. I think he is going to take down Martinez, and after he takes him down, I think it's going to be over shortly after. The under 1.5 is something that I'm probably going to look at, especially if it's plus money. I don't see why it would be, but maybe they make a mistake and make it plus money because I do not see this going past the first round most likely. All right, getting to the next fight here, and a fight I'm not overly interested in, and that is Sabina Mazo versus Justine Kish. Not too high on Kish whatsoever. She's 32 years old, 5'5", 65-inch reach. She's going to be at a 5-inch reach disadvantage, and Kish is 7-2 and 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Mazo is 23 years old, 5'7", 70-inch reach, 8-1 and 4-1 in her last 5 fights. So she's really young, 23 years old. She's growing every single fight. She's improving every single fight. I do see those improvements. I think she has a decent upside in the UFC. I mean, she's pretty solid. Cannot really say the same thing for Kish. Not all that impressed. Mazo's going to bring the more volume. I think Mazo's the better fighter overall. I see this playing out mostly on the feet. And I don't know. I just see Mazo outpointing her, outstriking her. I don't know. Maybe Kish makes this close. I mean, I'm personally not going out there and betting Mazo. She's at minus 245. Not my cup of tea there, especially for women's MMA. And then Kish is plus 205. I see a lot of people betting on Kish. And, more so, I think, Mazo was, close to minus 300 earlier in the week. But she's getting bet down, and for a good reason. I mean, this could play out close, but I'm going to go with Mazo. I think she's going to have the more volume. I think she's just going to do more and look better doing it. But give me Mazo by decision. Really would be surprised if this fight did end inside the distance. Cannot say the same thing for this fight. This is a fight I definitely see finishing. Bryan Barberena versus Anthony Ivy. I see a lot of love for Anthony Ivy, which is, very surprising to me, but we'll definitely talk about it here. Bryan Barberena, he's 31 years old, 6 foot, 72-inch reach, 14-7 and 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Anthony Ivy, he is 30 years old, 6'2", 74-inch reach, 8-3 and 2-3 in his last 5 fights. So, minus 270 for Barberena and plus 230 for Anthony Ivy here. So last week, I looked ahead a little bit, and I saw Barberena was sitting at minus 240, and I was shocked. I saw Barberena versus Ivy, and I was absolutely shocked. So I did go and look at it a little bit early, and I was shocked because I thought the line should be way wider, by the way. I looked into it a little bit more, and I saw that Barberena, had back surgery. He blew up to 240, 250 pounds. So there are some question marks for that. And so that's probably why that the line is as close as it is. I mean, I think Barberena is the much better fighter, and it's not even close. But there are those question marks we got to worry about. And, he's been knocked out in his last 2 fights. And I think those were his first 2 knockout losses. Of course, those were against Randy Brown and Vicente Luque, 2 dudes that would absolutely destroy Ivy. I guess it's something you got to think about. So maybe that's why people are picking Ivy. Maybe it's more so a fade on Barberena because I just don't see it with Ivy. I mean, I picked Christian Aguilera against Ivy as a decent-sized underdog, and Ivy, once he got hit, he pretty much quit in there. And I'll tell you guys right now, he's going to get hit by Barberena. So I like Barberena quite a bit. I'm really struggling to see a path to victory for Ivy. I guess maybe sticking to the outside. But even then, in the small cage, Barberena is going to most likely close the distance a little bit better. Maybe he gets Barberena down. Barberena has a 47% takedown defense. A lot of that is because he was taken down 12 times by Colby Covington. But his takedown defense looks solid. His get-up game's really good. Decent ground game. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see what other people are seeing. I guess they're just fading Barberena. And I don't know. I don't know if this is the fight to do it. Maybe down the line. Maybe soon down the line. But against Anthony Ivy, I don't see it. So give me Barberena. I'm going to go first round knockout here. And this is a parlay piece of mine. I got it at minus 250. It's minus 270 now. So got some value on that. I think the line could be even wider than that. I did check his Instagram. He's looking good. This probably is a fight you should wait until weigh-ins and see how Barberena is looking and then pull the trigger. But I think it's a fantastic parlay piece. Getting into the next fight here. And this is the fight, we're not sure if this is going to be on, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it because there are some rumors on there that Camacho has COVID. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. So if it's not true, disregard this, I guess. But Camacho is 31 years old, 5'10", 73-inch reach, 22-9, 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Brock Weaver, 28 years old, 6 foot, 73-inch reach, 15-5, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Looking at the line here, Camacho is minus 230. and Weaver is plus 190. So I'll ask you guys this. If Justin James did not go out there and knock out Frank Camacho, would Camacho only be a minus 230 favorite? The answer is no. He would be like minus 400 if that never happened, but it did. And a lot of people are on Weaver, and I think that's mostly because they want to fade Camacho, and rightfully so. That chin is a big liability for him. The gas tank, the cardio, a big liability. But I don't know. I'm not high on Weaver whatsoever. I don't think he's that good. I picked against him in both of his UFC fights. Of course, the one he won due to a disqualification in a fight that he was losing with an illegal knee. The other one he got submitted by Roosevelt Roberts. But I'm not high on the guy. I don't think he's all that great. I think he has a pretty terrible ground game on the feet. He doesn't pack much power. And what do you need to beat Camacho at this point in his career? That's power. I mean, I think Weaver has like one knockout win in 20 fights. It's just not, I don't know. I think he's a brawler. He's decent on the feet. He's tough. So maybe he's able to take Camacho into deep waters. And if Camacho gasses out, maybe he's able to take over later in the fight. But this is a fight you're going to wait until you see the weigh-ins. I was checking Camacho's Instagram. He looks absolutely fantastic. Like, he's taking this thing serious. So it would be a shame if he did test positive for COVID. But, yeah, I like Camacho to win this fight. I think he's the much better fighter. If he does come in 3 pounds overweight, 2 pounds overweight, if he looks awful at weigh-ins, I'm honestly just going to switch my pick. Because then I think Weaver could outlast him, grind him out, and tire him out, and maybe finish him late, I guess, or win a decision. But I just got to go Camacho here. I mean, I think he's the much better fighter. And if Weaver does go and fight Jalen Turner, can't wait to talk about that one on the Friday live stream if that happens. All right, getting into the next fight. And like I said, that Friday live stream video is very, very important because we're going to have some changes most likely throughout the week. It's been crazy lately. It really has. And it sucks for, other content creators like me that go out there and do all the research earlier in the week. Tape a fight for an hour or something, and then that fight pops off. It's really frustrating. But it's the fight game. Can't wait to go back to Fight Island. It seemed like there wasn't, much of those problems there. But getting into this fight, and this is a fight on paper, pre-tape, I thought Patrick has a really good chance to win. But he's 37 years old. He's 5'11", 74-inch reach, 15-2, and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Green is 33 years old, 5'10", 71-inch reach, 26, 10-1, and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. But after going into tape, I think this is an extremely winnable fight for Green. I really do. I like this matchup for him. Patrick averages 4 takedowns per 50 minutes with a 40% accuracy. I mean, that's kind of why on paper. We've seen Green taken down plenty of times. I was thinking Patrick, maybe he can take down Green, hold him down, grind him out. Yeah, I don't think so. I think Green on the feet, it's not even close. He's going to have a huge advantage. And on the mat, Green's no slouch, and he has a decent get-up game. He has decent takedown defense as well. I just don't see it. I don't see Patrick, doing much on the ground. So I got to go with Green, and I'm actually fairly confident in it, but it's really hard to be confident in a guy like Green who does tend to lose these really close decisions or does tend to kind of mess around in there a little bit too much for my liking. But Green should win this fight. I actually do like this, believe it or not, as a potential parlay piece. Minus 255. I think that's a fair line. I really do like this stylistic matchup for him. It's on the feet all day. Just stuff those takedowns. I think I like it. So give me Bobby Green. I'm going to say by decision. The thing is, Patrick has never lost by decision. He's been knocked out twice in both of his losses there, but give me Green by decision. Maybe he's able to finish Patrick, but just give me Green. Next, we got Roosevelt Roberts versus Matt Frevola, a fight I'm really, really looking forward to here. Roberts is 26 years old, 6'2". He's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage, a 73-inch reach there. He's going to have a 5-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage with a 73-inch reach, 10-2 and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. My bad, guys. It's very late. I'm tired. Frevola, he is 30 years old, 5'9", 71-inch reach, 8-1 and 3-1 in his last 5 fights. All right, so looking at the line here, Frevola is minus 105 and Roberts is minus 115. So slight dog on Frevola. This is a good matchup. This is a very good matchup. The thing is, Roberts gets taken down in a lot of fights. He has like a 58% takedown defense, and that's not a good sign there against Frevola, who is a very good wrestler. And what he does is get takedowns. He averages about 3.3 takedowns per 15 minutes. Extremely good wrestler. He's not really going to mess around on the feet much. With Roberts, I don't think. Maybe he does, but Roberts is going to have that length advantage. On the feet, I have Roberts all day. I just don't think it's going to be there that much. I think Frevola is going to take him down, control him for long periods of time, multiple takedowns. Frevola is a guy I really like. I mean, he has a lot of heart. He has a lot of toughness. And I don't know. I kind of question Roosevelt Roberts at this point. He got submitted by Jim Miller in his last fight. I don't know. He lost to Vince Pichel. Pichel grinded him out, took him down. So I kind of see Frevola doing the same thing, just taking down Roberts, grinding him out. But for me, in my opinion, I think Roberts is sub or bust. And I say that because I feel like he's going to be on his back for a lot of the fight. And he does have a good submission game. I think he's a brown belt in BJJ, as is Frevola. Frevola has a pretty good ground game himself. But yeah, Roberts is very slick on the ground. Maybe he's able to get a reversal or something. But I just think Frevola is going to grind this one out, get a decision. As long as he stays out of a sub, I think he wins. I don't think he's going to mess around on the feet with Roberts. Frevola has been knocked out once, I think, by Marco Polo Reyes, which is an awful loss. But from what I've seen, he's a tough dude. So give me Matt Frevola to win this fight. Maybe a possible bet as well. Getting into the next fight here. Julia Avila versus Ciara Eubanks. And this is going to be a good fight, actually. I really like this fight. But looking at the line, Avila is minus 290. And Eubanks is plus 245. And actually, it was bigger earlier in the week. Like, Avila opened up like minus 350, which is absolutely insane. But we'll talk about the matchup a little bit here. Avila, she is 32 years old. She is 5'7", 69-inch reach, 8-1, and 4-1 in the last 5 fights. And Eubanks, she is 35 years old, 5'4", 67-inch reach, 5-4, and 3-2 in the last 5 fights. 5-4 in the UFC. That's crazy, but it's women's MMA. But in all seriousness, like Eubanks, I actually think she's good. A lot of people think she sucks. I think she's decent. She has very crisp boxing. The only problem is that cardio. She tends to slow down. She has really good takedowns. She can slam girls. Like she's tough. She's very, very tough. She hits hard. She's dangerous. And I don't know. I feel like this can play out very close. I feel like Eubanks, has a really good chance to win that first round as well. Although I am very impressed with Avila, and I was impressed with her. I think she has, decent upside. She's 32 years old, but she does have some decent upside in the UFC. She looks very dangerous, very tough as well. But man, I'm gonna go with Avila. I think this is going to be an extremely high-paced fight. Extremely, and for that reason, I really can't pick someone like Eubanks who does tend to slow down. I will say, although. She looked good in the Moros fight. Her cardio looked fantastic, and I've been checking her Instagram. Like, she's been putting in that work in the cardio area. So I think she's really putting an emphasis on that, on that cardio. So I don't know. Maybe she comes in here and maybe she's fresh in that third round. She looks like she's always dangerous, no matter if in the first round, second round, third round. She's always dangerous. She always hits very, very hard. So I don't know. I feel like this could play out really close. I feel like by the end of the fight, Avila will not look minus 300. I think that's absolutely insane. But man, can't bet it myself. Can't bet it myself from either side. Women's MMA, really anything can happen. I guess what I'm worried about for Avila, if I was to put her in a parlay, which I'm definitely not, would be Eubanks taking her down. Eubanks is a BJJ black belt, which I was watching tape on her and I kind of question that. I've seen her put in some really bad spots. Avila looks like she has a solid ground game herself though, so I think she's fine there. But just getting taken down by Eubanks, maybe controlled, is what I'm worried about. But will Eubanks be able to do that for 15 minutes? I don't know if the gas tank will hold up. But give me Avila. Like I said, I feel like it's going to be closer than people think. But I think she gets it done by decision. Next we have Matt Schnell versus Tyson Nam. A fight that is really tough to call for a couple of reasons. Matt Schnell is 30 years old. He's 5'8", 72.5-inch reach. Going to have a pretty sizable reach advantage with 5.5, 14-5, and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Tyson Nam, 36 years old, 5'7", 68-inch reach, 19-11, and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Looking at the line here, let's take a look. Schnell is a slight underdog, minus 105. Tyson Nam, minus 115 here. I think Nam opened up like a minus at like a plus 135 underdog. So a lot of money is coming in on Tyson Nam, and for a good reason. This fight's pretty much 50-50. Man, it's tough because Schnell I think is better, everywhere on the mat, on the feet, everywhere. It's just the durability that really questions, that I really question for Schnell. He's been knocked out 3 times. Yeah, he's been knocked out 3 times. He's been submitted once, so finished, and pretty much, all of his losses, 4 out of 5 losses there. And Nam, he's someone who's not going to go out there and win a decision. He is, he's either going to knock you out or he's going to lose. Very, very low volume. So from what I was thinking was maybe Schnell can come in here, stay safe, maybe take down Nam, and grind out a decision. I don't really see Schnell finishing Nam. Maybe he does. Nam's very tough, though. I don't think Nam's ever been submitted. Nam's never been submitted. Nam has been knocked out once. Very tough dude. He looks like he has solid takedown defense. So I don't know. I saw an interview with Schnell, and he said that he's going to stand and bang with Tyson Nam. And don't recommend that, but that's what he said. Hopefully he's lying there. That wouldn't be the smartest game plan, but I don't know. In the smaller cage, I think it's going to force the action a little bit more. And Schnell, in pretty much all of his fights, he tends to get in some brawls. And I don't know. I don't trust the chin of Schnell. And Nam has a ton of power. So I'm actually going with Tyson Nam here. I'm going with the slight underdog. I know it's going to be a very unpopular opinion. I just see him getting caught at some point. I mean, Schnell should win this fight, but he's going to be put in some opportunities where, Nam's going to have a shot to knock him out. And he's going to probably have a decent amount of shots to do that for 15 minutes. I don't know. So give me Tyson Nam. I'm going to say first round knockout. I just can't trust the chin of Matt Schnell. All right, this is the other half to my parlay. Quarantillo, I have Barbarina and Quarantillo at minus 102. I think it's like minus 110 now, minus 111 now. But I like Billy Q quite a bit. I'm really high on this guy. He's 31 years old. He has 5'10", 70-inch reach, 14-2 and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Kyle Nelson, 29 years old, 5'11", 71-inch reach, 13-3 and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Watching tape on Billy Q was fantastic. It was an awesome experience. I mean, this is a dude that has tons of heart. He has unreal heart. He has unreal toughness. Some of the best cardio you'll ever see. He's great. The problem is he tends to drop that first round in a lot of fights. And I guess that's a little concerning against Kyle Nelson, who in my opinion is pretty much round 1 or bust here. But from what I see, like Billy Q is very tough. I think he's been knocked out once in 16 fights. He looks like he has a pretty good chin. If he's able to survive this first round, I think he's going to win, and I think he's going to win pretty convincingly, whether it's a finish in that second or third round or even decision. We saw in, Nelson's fights, like he gets tired after that first round. He goes all out. He throws with really, really bad intentions. He's going to try to take off Quarantillo's head. What I would recommend, and I saw an interview with Quarantillo, and he was talking about, getting this fight to the ground. And yeah, do that. Get this fight to the ground, grind him out, get Nelson tired, maybe even submit him. Like, Quarantillo is very good on the mat. Like, he's a BJJ black belt. Really, really liked what I saw. But if he comes in here and takes down Nelson, fight smart, it's going to be a lot easier. If he wants to stand with Nelson, could get a little sketchy. But either way, I like Quarantillo quite a bit. Taking a look at the odds, minus 250. That's not bad. Nelson plus 210. If you're on Nelson, might as well just bet him inside the distance. Might as well maybe take a shot at the first round prop. But I like Quarantillo here. I think he survives that first round storm, and he takes it in the second or third round. So give me Quarantillo by second round submission. Very high on this guy. I think he's very good. So give me Quarantillo. All right, and next we got Ed Herman versus Mike Rodriguez. And for me personally, this is one of my toughest fights to call, and I'll talk about it a little bit. But Mike Rodriguez, he's 31 years old, 6'4", 82.5-inch reach, which is going to be a crazy 7.5-inch reach advantage. He's 11-4 and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Ed Herman, he's 39 years old, 6'1", 75-inch reach, 24-14. And 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Looking at the line here, minus 245 Rodriguez, plus 205 Herman. And I'll tell you why this fight's tough to call. I mean, it's really hard to trust Mike Rodriguez. I know he got that first round knockout against Prochnio, someone who's been knocked out 3 times in the UFC, but this is Ed Herman. He's a UFC veteran. I mean, he's not he's on his way out for sure, but still, I think if he took this fight to the ground, like he's very live to win. I know he averages 2.2 takedowns per 15 minutes. A lot of those were earlier in his career, but Rodriguez has a pretty crap ground game. Rodriguez has a 38% takedown defense, and Herman is a black belt in BJJ. I mean, Herman is someone who has a 54% submission rate. He's finished over half of his fights by submission. And Rodriguez has been submitted before. I don't know. This fight's really sketchy to me. All signs point to Rodriguez should win this fight. The more athletic fighter by a ton. The extreme reach advantage. But I don't know. Something's telling me, like, I don't know. Maybe Herman can find a knockout. I just can't trust Rodriguez here. Definitely not going to bet it. I am going to, go with a slight hesitation. But I'm going to pick Rodriguez to win because he should. He should win this, unless he gets knocked out. But give me Rodriguez. I'm going to pick him to win by second round knockout. But this is a sketchy fight. This is not something I would put in my parlays. Maybe the under something to look at. But I think Herman's very, very live. I'm not too high on this Rodriguez, but all the physical advantages point to him. All the numbers point to him. He lands a ton more than Herman. I think he's good. It's just hard to trust him. So give me Rodriguez, first round knockout. A fight I am definitely passing from a betting perspective, but a fight I will have a lot in DraftKings. All right, getting into this next fight, man. This is not the best fight in the world, but we'll talk about it. Andrea Lee versus Roxanne Modafferi. I actually like Roxanne quite a bit. I mean, 37 years old, getting up there, 5'7", 69-inch reach, 24-17. 24-17. 2-3 in her last 5 fights. Andrea Lee, she is 31 years old, 5'6", 69.5-inch reach, 11-4, 3-2 in her last 5 fights. I mean, Andrea Lee should win this fight. She's better everywhere. She's way more skilled. It's hard to count out Roxanne Modafferi. I was actually on her when she was a big dog against Antonina Shevchenko, but I was not on her when she was a big dog against Macy Barber when Macy Barber was minus 1,000. But Lee is minus 325 here. And Modafferi is plus 265. I guess what makes this sketchy is Lee's takedown defense, 61%. And how is Roxanne going to win this fight? It would be taking her down and grinding her out. I don't really see that happening. I mean, Roxanne, 21% takedown accuracy. Maybe she gets down Lee, but from what I've seen, like Lee's ground game is pretty decent get-up game as well. And on the feet, it's really not even close. I'm going to go with Andrea Lee, but very sketchy women's MMA fight. Really couldn't bet it either side. I see people taking some shots on Roxanne. Why not? But personally, not for me. Give me Andrea Lee by decision. And not a fight I'm overly interested in watching, honestly. All right, getting into the next fight here, which is the co-main event. And what a co-main event this is. I wouldn't hate for this fight to be the main event. I think this is going to be more exciting than the main event here, honestly. But, it's probably, going to end early as well. Kama Worthy versus Otman Zytar. Worthy is 33 years old, 5'11", 74-inch reach, 16-6, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Otman Zytar, 30 years old, 5'8", 71-inch reach, 12-0. This is a tough fight to call. Worthy is someone who, ever since he moved up to 155, I don't think he's lost. I think he's like 7-0. And earlier in his career, and this is what, probably made him a big underdog against Devontae Smith, and Smith was like minus 1,000 something. And he got knocked out a lot. Worthy's been knocked out 5 times, but I think that was all at 145. So moving up that weight class kind of rejuvenated his career here. He's like a whole different person. Like, I think he's actually pretty decent. And Zytar is someone who does get hurt in a lot of his fights. And I don't know, Worthy it seems like he has that touch of death. So I don't know. I'm going to go with Worthy here. I see a lot of people taking shots on a Zytar. I can see it. I'm just done counting out Worthy. I was wrong. I was wrong with him on Devontae Smith. I was wrong on him against Luis Pena. Hopefully I get it right this time. I think I like this a Zytar guy. I think he hits extremely hard. I think someone's going to sleep. I'm not betting this either side, but something I am looking at is the under. But give me Worthy here. I think he's going to have a 3-inch reach advantage. He's going to have the length advantage. But that small cage could help a Zytar a little bit more. But I don't know. I've just seen a Zytar rocked a little bit too much for my liking, and I don't know. 155 has kind of rejuvenated Worthy's chin, it seems like. So I don't know. Give me Kama Worthy. I'm going to say first round knockout, and it's going to be a fantastic first round, to say the least. All right, it's finally time for the main event. Going to be going over all my bets and stuff on Friday on the live stream as always, and of course, doing my betting breakdown on Saturday. You guys can always follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, or on Instagram, DFS by the numbers. I'm always pretty good with answering anybody's questions at any time. But with that said, we are going to get into the main event here, and it's not the best main event in the world. I mean, I like Angela Hill. I like both these fighters, but man, I don't think this is going to be much of an exciting fight. Angela Hill, she's 34 years old. She is 5'3" with a 64.5-inch reach. She is 12-8 and 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Personally, I think she should be 4-1. I thought she won her last fight against Gadelia. Michelle Waterson, she is 34 years old as well. 5'3", 62-inch reach, 17-8 and 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Angela Hill is, forgot to mention, Worthy's a -135 favorite, and Zytar is +115. But I'm not betting that fight either way. But Angela Hill is -125. Waterson's +105. A lot of money's coming on Waterson. I mean, rightfully so. This is a decent stylistic matchup for her. We all know what Angela Hill struggles with, and that is that ground game. But I've seen so much improvements from Angela Hill over her past couple fights. And of course, she's not fighting the best competition whatsoever. And I kind of want to talk about that. Like, she went on a 3-fight win streak and then finally lost to Claudia Gadelia. She finally lost. I mean, I think she won that fight. But man, did she look good against Gadelia. Gadelia was able to take her down, but I'm surprised Gadelia didn't keep going for those takedowns. And that's what I was worried about in that fight, was the takedowns of Gadelia. But, you know, Angela Hill's ground game has improved a bunch. So, I mean, she beat Luma Lukbumi, someone I'm not high on whatsoever. Hannah Cyphers, obviously, someone we're not high on. Ariana Carnelosi, like 3 in a row, like not the best competition before that. She lost to Jan, beat Escabel, lost to Randa Marcos with that arm bar, remember that. But it just hasn't been being the best competition, but she's looked good. She really has, and I can't really say the same for Waterson. I do think Waterson's, you know, kind of trending down in her career, and I think it's the opposite for Angela Hill. Waterson did not look all that great in her last fight against Esparza there. And then, of course, she lost to Joanna. No shame in that. But, man, I do think she's on her way out. And I do think Hill is on her way up. So, I don't know. I'm going to go with Hill here. And because I think that on the feet, it's not even close. Hill has an extreme advantage. And on the ground, I think Waterson may be able to get Hill down a couple times. But I just seen a lot of improvements from Hill on the ground. Hopefully she's able to stuff some takedowns or even get back up. Give me Hill. Give me Hill. I think, you know, she's going to land a ton of volume, way more than Waterson. Maybe even hurt Waterson. Waterson is very tough, though. She's never been finished by strike. She has been submitted, and Angela Hill's not going to submit her. But, yeah, give me Angela Hill. I don't know if I'm going to bet it. If the line comes down a little bit more, -125. If it gets down to if it gets down to closer to a pick'em, I'll definitely take a shot at Hill, but I guess the value side, you could say, is on Waterson because the path to victory is there. I just think Angela Hill is making those improvements, and Waterson is kind of on her way down in her career. And I think Angela Hill at 34, believe it or not, is on her way up. So give me Angela Hill. I'm going to pick her to win by decision there. That's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys can leave a like, subscribe if you have not yet. Would really appreciate that a ton. Trying to get 7,000 subscribers. If you guys do want extra content, you guys can sign up on Patreon. The link will be in the description below. Posting my bets throughout the week. A video breakdown shortly after. My statistical model with all the stats of each fighter. And then my article where I break down my bets sometime on Friday as well. So if you guys are interested in that, the link will be in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys have bets, good luck on Saturday. And let's get it.